So I really want to be a good AI photographer. They call them post photographers, synthography. I've seen some careers take off from digital artists, 3D artists, photographers who made the jump to AI photography. And they're using tools like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, Dall-E. So I've been studying prompts used to generate unique, realistic photography on Midjourney. I'd love to share these prompts with you so you can use them. So this is just off the community feed on the Midjourney app. This looks like vintage photography from a film. The quality of this is very realistic. If you look at the clothing, the details in the clothing, the face, the hair, names like Petra Collins, artists, filmmakers, these are great to stick in your prompt to add that realism to the image. And then it also has color palette by Wes Anderson. So you're mixing two artists together, you're gonna get some realistic imagery. Skateboarding grandma, very realistic, like shot on a DSLR, you know? Like she's grooving. I believe it, don't you? I think the thing I like most about generating realistic photography is that you can create strange scenes that look believable. It's just, you probably wouldn't see them in real life. That's kind of like the magic of generating photography in tools like Midjourney. So they're using Kodak Portra 800 film, SMC Takumar 35mm. I see this used very often. Camera details, film stock details. These will all help generate realistic photography. They have a whole bunch of them. Film grain, photography, Fujifilm, soft, realistic, dreamy quality, semi-studio. It's like all these different genres of photography mixed together for this woman, and she looks super happy. Her teeth are perfect too. Good for you, girl. Well, they're using hyper-realistic profile photography. Right off the bat, that'll help drive the prompt. The other one that seems to be very effective is fashion editorial. As soon as you drop in fashion editorial, it creates this sense of realism to the image. So this leans a little bit into the 3D realm, but there's some very photorealistic qualities to this image. The thing I see that's very effective is referencing artists, filmmakers that have a unique style. So this one uses Ji Young Lee. If you just invert these colors, it could be realistic. Cotton candy trees, those clouds look super real. That lake looks, I don't know, is that real? The sky, the clouds, the forest. The texture is very photorealistic in these bushes. It's just the shape is not. Whimsical and imaginative. That's what creates this fairy tale land. I'd love to take a vacation there, to be honest with you. Very soft, angelic woman. This borders on fantasy, but there's a vintage quality to it. They use the terms realistic, cinematic, detailed photo. Look at the sand, look at the clothes, the dirt on the skin, the hairs on the arms. All these blemishes add to the realism of the photo. He looks kind of like Wolverine. I'm not sure it passed for Abraham Lincoln, but to be honest, who cares? Okay, so how do we get this? Sony Alpha, a bunch of camera settings, apertures, shutter speed. Those are surefire ways to get photographic realism. The prompt also uses dramatic, realistic image right off the bat. You just tell Midjourney you want it to look real. It'll help you make it look real. She's very happy on a boardwalk. The hair detail, the candid nature of her reaction, the people walking in the background with the shallow depth of field. What do they use here? Photography by Julia Hedda. Oh, it's very contemporary photography. The thing is, when you mix in a lot of details that are not as abstract as the final one, you get like a mix. This kind of mixes that vintage photo quality with that dreamy, surreal, contemporary quality. The realism in this photo comes from the fact that the photo's imperfect. Like there's parts of his shirt that are kind of blown out. There's parts of the sky that are blown out, but there's still enough detail in the hair, in the clothing, in the skin to make me want to believe that this was real. They achieve it with 35mm portrait film. The quality of the lens, the quality of the film, grain effect, and high resolution. It kind of looks like a movie poster. This is another one of those vintage, dreamy, soft photographic images. Her hair, her face, the details in the flowers. Even though it's a soft image everything comes together, the composition makes it feel very real. They do it very simply, the same technique of adding an artist or filmmaker in the prompt. Petra Collins and Eliza Rozelle. This is a surefire way to get realistic photography. Man, she looks like a tough woman. The thing about the face is when there's blemishes, maybe like dirts or speckles, anything that's not completely perfect, you can see pores, you can see outlines in the eyes. These kind of details make the image very realistic, very photographic. And in the clothing, the texture, she just looks like a badass. I'd like to be in her troupe. This one just uses a camera, Nikon D850. She looks like a soldier, a resistance fighter or something. That's right off the Explore section. Hope you liked the photos and hope you learned a couple things to add to your prompts. I've been working on a set of AI photographs, like a couple different series, and I'd love to share them with you soon and show you my process of how I generated them. All right, have a good night, guys.